Assalamu alaikum warahmatullah. My name is Khairul Amin. I will be presenting on the dan- apa, the on the dangers of stimulant abuse. So first, the table of contents, the introduction to stimulants, the effects of stimulant abuse, dangers of dependence, prevalence and demographics of stimulant abuse, economic burden of stimulant abuse, the dangers of prescription stimulant abuse, physical consequence of prescription stimulant abuse, academic and professional implications, the rise of methamphetamine use, societal impact of methamphetamine use, contributing factors to methamphetamine use, cocaine abuse and its consequences, mental health implications for cocaine abuse, and finally, treatment options for stimulant addiction. First is introduction to stimulants. So, stimulants are a class of drugs that increase activity in the central nervous system. They can be prescribed by doctors for medical conditions such as ADHD or narcolepsy, but they are also commonly abused. Some common types of stimulants include cocaine and methamphetamine. These drugs can be highly addictive and have serious health consequences. Next is the effects of stimulant abuse. When stimulants are abused, they can cause a range of negative effects on the body and mind. Short-term effects may include increased heart rate, elevated blood pressure, and feelings of euphoria. Long-term effects of stimulant abuse can be even more severe. These may include addiction, paranoia, aggression, and even psychosis. Next is the dangers of dependence. One of the most insidious effects of stimulant abuse is the development of dependence. As the body becomes accustomed to the presence of the drug, it may require increasingly higher dose to achieve the desired effect. This can quickly spiral out of control, leading to addiction and a host of other negative consequences. In addition to the physical toll that dependence takes on the body, it can also have serious mental health implications. People who are dependent on stimulants may experience mood swings, anxiety, depression, and other emotional disturbances. These can be incredibly difficult to overcome without professional help. Next is the prevalence and demographics of stimulant abuse. Stimulant abuse is a growing problem in many parts of the world. According to recent studies, approximately 5% of adults have used stimulants at some point in their lives. However, this number is likely much higher among certain populations, such as college students and athletes. In fact, one study found that up to 30% of college students had used stimulants non-medically in the past year. In terms of demographics, stimulant abuse tends to be more common among men than women. It is also more prevalent among younger age groups, with the highest rates of use occurring among people in their late teens and early 20s. Additionally, people who live in urban areas and those with higher levels of education and income are more likely to abuse stimulants. Next is the economic burden of stimulant abuse. Stimulant abuse not only takes a toll on the individual's physical and mental health, but also has a significant economic impact. The cost of healthcare services, lost productivity, and criminal justice involvement associated with stimulant abuse is staggering. According to a study by the National Institute on Drug Abuse, the total economic burden of prescription opioid misuse alone in the United States was $78.5 billion in 2013. In addition to these direct costs, there are also indirect costs, such as the strain on families and communities. Children of parents who abuse stimulants may suffer from neglect or abuse, leading to long-term emotional and developmental problems. Communities may experience increased crime rates and decreased property value due to drug-related activity. All of these factors contribute to the overall economic burden of stimulant abuse. Next is the dangers of prescription stimulant abuse. While prescription stimulants can be helpful for treating legitimate medical conditions, they can also be abused. This is especially common among college students who use these drugs to stay awake and study for long periods of time. Prescription stimulant abuse can lead to addiction as well as other serious health problems such as heart failures and seizures. Next is the physical consequence of prescription stimulant abuse. The abuse of prescription stimulants can have severe physical consequences. Prolonged misuse of these potent substances can lead to a rapid and irregular heartbeat, dangerously elevated blood pressure, and the onset of cardiovascular disorders. The relentless strain on the heart may ultimately result in heart attacks, strokes, or even sudden death, casting a chilling shadow over the life of those who naively wander into this realm. It is important to understand that prescription stimulants are not harmless drugs and should only be used under the guidance of a medical professional. The risks associated with their misuse are too great to ignore, and the physical toll they take on the body can be devastating. Next is academic and professional implications. The abuse of prescription stimulants not only affects the physical health of the user, but also this has significant academic and professional implications. The use of these substances can lead to a decrease in cognitive performance, impairing memory, attention, and decision-making abilities. This can result in poor academic performance, decreased work productivity, and even job loss. Additionally, the misuse of prescription stimulants can lead to legal consequences, damaging one's professional reputation and future prospects. It is crucial to recognize the potential academic and professional ramification of prescription stimulant abuse. Seeking help for addiction and finding healthier coping mechanisms is essential to avoid detrimental effect on one's education and career. Next is the rise of methamphetamine use. Methamphetamine is a highly addictive stimulant that has been increasingly popular in recent years. This drug can be easily made with household chemicals, making it cheap and accessible. Methamphetamine use can cause serious health problems such as tooth decay, skin sores, and brain damage. It can also lead to addiction, which can be difficult to overcome. Next is the societal impact of meth abuse. The impact of methamphetamine abuse goes beyond the individual user. It has a ripple effect on society as a whole, causing strain on healthcare systems, law enforcement, and social services. Meth users often require medical attention for their physical and mental health issues, which can be costly and time-consuming for hospitals and clinics. Additionally, the drug's production can lead to dangerous situations for law enforcement officials who must deal with violent drug dealers and clandestine labs. Furthermore, meth addiction can tear families apart, leaving children without parents or caregivers. This puts an additional burden on social services, which must step in to provide support and care for these vulnerable children. The impact of meth abuse is not limited to just the user, but extends to everyone around them. Next is the contributing factors to meth abuse. Now, there are several contributing factors that lead people to abuse methamphetamine. One of the primary factors is the drug's highly addictive nature. Methamphetamine releases a surge of dopamine in the brain, creating a powerful feeling of pleasure and euphoria. This can quickly lead to addiction as users crave that intense high again and again. Other factors that contribute to meth abuse include societal, social, and environmental factors. Many people who abuse meth come from broken homes or have experienced trauma in their lives. This may also be influenced by peers who use drugs and live in areas where drug use is prevalent. Additionally, some individuals may turn to meth as a way to cope with stress or mental health issues such as depression or anxiety. Next is cocaine abuse and its consequences. Cocaine is a powerful stimulant that can be snorted, smoked, or injected. It produces a feeling of euphoria and increased energy, but these effects are short-lived. Cocaine abuse can lead to addiction, heart attacks, strokes, and other serious health problems. It can also cause financial and legal problems for those who become addicted. Next is the mental health implication of cocaine abuse. Cocaine abuse not only has physical consequences, but can also have significant impact on one's mental health. The drug can cause paranoia, anxiety, and depression, which can lead to further substance abuse as individuals attempt to self medicate. In addition, cocaine use can damage the brain's reward system, making it harder for individuals to experience pleasure in everyday activities. Long term cocaine abuse can also lead to cognitive impairments such as memory loss and difficulty with decision making. These mental health implications highlight the importance of seeking professional help for those struggling with cocaine addiction. Finally, treatment options for stimulant addiction. Stimulant addiction can be difficult to overcome, but there are treatment options available. These may include behavioral therapy, medication assisted treatment, and support groups such as Narcotics Anonymous. It is important for those struggling with addiction to seek help as soon as possible. With the right treatment and support, it is possible to overcome stimulant addiction and lead a healthy, fulfilling life. Thank you very much. That will be all from me.